What is going on YouTube? This is Acid Root. So I'm going to review the second album by rapper Lil Flip. Basically, this project is called Underground Legend, and it came out in the summer of 2002. So the thing about this project is this is one of the ones that got initially. This is a project that got Lil Flip like his initial buzz in terms of television headway pitches like that as far as those first going to happen. Now apparently nowadays, for the longest time, Wikipedia, some of those fairs like that did not mention as commonly that Lil Flip had 2 singles off this project. Originally I thought it was only The Way We Ball, but there is another one that came out as like a promotional single or like a buzz single before that one, which is You See It featuring Chameleon Air. So excellent type pitches for that, good type fairs. This is kind of the product. Now Lil Flip was obviously in the commercial spotlight pretty full bound and large between songs like Riding Spinners in 2003 from about that particular era of like the summer of 2003 to about the fall of 2004, between being on Riding Spinners with 3-6 Mafia and some of those type songs like the song he did with David Banner. I forget the name of that song, but however that song goes, Real Hoes Get Down on the Flow pitches like that, but that was a song from 2003. Songs like a Pimp by David Banner and Riding Spinners by 3-6 Mafia helped build Lil Flip's buzz, and then he had some hit singles from his 2004 album You Gotta Feel Me, which was a double album. So good type pitches. Gonna start getting to Lil Flip a lot more within those particular fairs as far as those pitches can happen. But this is the particular album that kind of got Lil Flip into the headway of that particular fair of like his early 2000s kind of dominance as far as those fairs gonna happen. Now, yeah, this is a classic album here within those pitches. This is kind of one that's kind of a trendsetter in a lot of senses, because particularly with this early kind of come up. Now, Lil Flip had been around since like at least the late 90s, early 2000s on like the mixtape scene. He did mixtapes like that back in those days. He was a part of the early formation of that. And Lil Flip's grind is pretty astronomical within these pitches, so I want to get to some more of these type fairs. He's done some collaboration projects. He did one with Gutta Gutta that I reviewed last year in the summer of 2024, and he did one with Young Noble, which is some excellent type pitches. Recently, Deceased Cat, unfortunately, from Outlaws, as far as this person can happen, but it's excellent type pitches. Lil Flip was able to snag him within those fairs, just within the aspect. So yeah, this is a product that kind of was like a primer for Dirty South hip-hop as far as this first can happen. Definitely within the pitch. Now, apart from like Lil Jon, Ludacris, Mystical, some of those type folks, and Outkast folks like that, it was kind of within the early bird type stages where MTV was not as... Apart from probably folks like Ludacris, Outkast, some of those type folks in terms of like MTV and VH1 staples pitches like that, it was kind of within the fair that he was kind of some adornment and decoration that kind of helped to be around that particular facet as far as saying in terms of like a nightclub or just overall some southern swag pitches like that as to how those fairs going to happen. It's definitely within the pitch as far as getting that particular balance about it within those conducts. It just kind of had the particular appeal, kind of getting to more of like radio kind of jingles and some of those type of aspects as things started to separate a bit from like this the usual. I mean, you definitely had songs by Ludacris like Saturday. You definitely had songs by Ludacris like Saturday and Move Bitch and Welcome to Atlanta, some of those type pitches that were kind of popping around this time, and like Outkast with The Whole World, a couple Mystical songs like Tarantula, some of those type fairs. But in terms of like a relative type bite, that this was kind of more or less before T.I.'s kind of commercial dominance. Gucci Mane wasn't around, Jeezy wasn't around as much full bounce. It's just from the pitch as far as saying this is some good type fair. Yin Yang Twins were kind of popping around this time, so this is just kind of in the earlier type stage, so of excellent type appeal. Recommend more or less out of 16 songs in here. Now there is a bonus disc, which I didn't realize this is some new information, or at least within the fair about it, some extra type stuff. I'm glad that some further information about this product's being found, but it's within the pitch as far as saying there is a bonus disc that has, on Spotify nowadays, there is a second disc that has some chopped and screwed type songs, at least a couple new ones, so I'll get to that down the road as far as this fair is going to happen within the pitch. I'm going to review this 16 song edition of this album now. And really out of those 16 songs, there's really only a half song I don't recommend. So it's actually 15 and a half out of 16. There's one almost song out of all of these, so excellent type of appeal. This album easily gets a 10. This is just classic kind of hip, classic early 2000s rap within those fairs pitches like that. Now, the lead single probably more or less would be seemed as The Way We Ball, but actually in more sense is the song that was promoted before that was You See It featuring Chameleon Air. So it's like a hella crunk kind of early 2000s crunk. Sounds like a hella crunked up kind of early 2000s crunk trailblazer as far as this first going to happen. This has traces of Lil Jon, David Banner, 3-6 Mafia about it. Some of those type pitches excellently within the appeal. Great song to get loud to, pitches like that, and just wild out real heavy as far as this first going to happen. It's definitely within the pitch as far as those formats. It's easy kind of just Definitely within the format, easy kind of tear out in terms of those particular type of appeals amongst the crunk motions of just getting towards some of that loud pack. This just feels, I think, within the right sense. If you were to hear like a yeah or an okay on there, some of those type of pitches, you probably think that this was just a little John song within those aspects. This has that same kind of composition, excellent type of appeal. It's a good buzz star. It's interesting to get Chameleon Air on a song like this within those appeals because he was kind of quieter in 2002. He did drop an album with Paul Wall around that time, which I reviewed recently, but was within the pitch, or I guess by the time you see this album, it'll be several months ago within those pitches, but it's just the fair as far as staying within the aspect of kind of some actually kind of fair with Chameleon Air, so good type product of before he really blew up full bound in like 2005, 2006, so excellent type of appeal. But yeah, it's just a crunk primer, some of those type pitches. Just an early bird type 1. These two modes, like I was saying, this little flip was kind of an early bird within these sense as far as the particular fair about it. 2002 was a little bit early before like the widespread kind of southern type appeal that kind of blew up within those tones was this kind of pitch as far as saying. If I had to guess, I'd probably say maybe You See It came out like the summer or spring of 2002, some of those type pitches within the format, just kind of amongst the days when Eminem was dropping like when Eminem was dropping like the Eminem Show and some of those type pitches, and Ludacris was cresting with songs like Move Bitch and Welcome to Atlanta, some of those type tones. So it's just one of the tone, but I look after this good type appeal, this promotional type tunes within pitches like that. Lil Flip had some pretty good stuff. Now The Way We Ball is the more notable type single in turn. Now, The Way We Ball has a little bit more commercial kind of notoriety within pitch, but it definitely has a good, excellent 1-2 punch within these appeals of both these. So it's like The Way We Ball is like a throwback kind of MTV and VH1 staple pitches like that, and radio jingle to kind of get here. Just a primary Lil Flip pitches like that amongst like his dominant era years. Now, he still continues to be dominant nowadays, but definitely when you think of him being on television every day, 2002, 2004, some of those type pitches, one of those initial string of hits that he got, and this is like some Southern Summers kind of get within these aspects. It's really just dripping with swag pitches like that, just kind of the excellent type of appeal, getting to some of these conducts. These are sorts of tunes that should have just been probably just easy kind of earworms pitches like that. It's the standard tone and just banger after banger, these type ones that you would just have like in the after hours of just fucking with these songs as far as those conducts can happen. Now, the actual appeal about this song was this was more of like a rap chart. This is more of like a rap chart only type song within the pitch, but it is a pretty slinky type one with enough sing-songiness that it just has the catchiness where it did have a lot of airplay. So it's just the pitch first, and it's a good type song. Most popular song according to Spotify, but it's just kind of the pitch. Like I said, for the longest while it seemed like this was more or less the only single, but yeah, I'm glad that that developed, that there were some further promotions, because I was questioning if there really was only one single, because that happened with Bone Crusher on his 2003 album. Makes me wonder if nowadays there's another one that he did besides Never Scared or some of those type ones, or yeah, apart from Never Scared, some of those type pitches. But I look after it. To just be able to say, I recommend all 16 of the songs in this edition, minus I Can Do That remix. The good thing about this song is it has Juvenile and Skip from UTP on there as far as this pitch can happen. Wacko's not on this song, but still good type pitch to get these folks on here. Now this has like some good degree of composition about it, but the beat is just pretty scratchy and abrasive within the context of it. It's just kind of one of those type ones that just feels very skeletal with an aspect and not as fleshed out and adorned as like its full bound, not as fleshed out and decorated as probably what particularly would probably have more composition about happening. This is like the lone song with like the amount of dislike, the most kind of gloss about it, I'd have to say. But this is like a rowdy kind of dance floor turn up, I'd have to say. It's a good song to get raw to, but it's just kind of abrasive in the sense. The actual thing about this product is there's not actually a shit ton of kind of The actual thing about this product is there's not actually a shit ton of kind of dance floor type songs in the pitch. There's actually more neighborhood type moments when you think of 3-6 Mafia, Project Pat, some of those type folks, in particular the snack run type songs within the pitch. It's actually surprising that amidst like the dance, I mean, there's songs like I'd probably say The Way We Ball is a good, that's more of a summer type song, more in like the Nelly Country Grammar type fashion. But I'd say You See It, Get Crunk, some of these type of ones, pitches like that probably go along with I Can Do That. But I would say I Can Do That's kind of like a skeletal kind of strip club type noise. I would kind of feel like the melody composition is just not as apple as Full Bound, but it's still an almost song I'd say within the pitch. So yeah, but there's some nice ones on here, like R.I.P. Screw's a nice one within these appeals. Now, Lil Flip rocked with DJ Screw back when he was alive. It's been quite a hideous amount of time. It feels like, considering all the folks that fucked with DJ Screw, it felt like he lasted longer in the 2000s, but he really has been deceased for almost a quarter century as far as those appeals going to happen. So as far as those aspects can happen, so it's just within the pitch as far as saying, but there were folks like Lil Flip and Big Hawk and folks like that, Pimp C, a bunch of those folks that were around like in the 90s, pitches like that do remember him. Lil Flip was a part of like, it's like a particular group that DJ Screw and some of those type folks from Houston, Texas were kind of a part of. I forget the name, but I'm going to review some of these folks down the road within those pitches, definitely. But folks like Big Hawk and Fat Pat, some of those type of folks within particulars about it. But I'd say RIP screws like a Woozy and B-Leaguer, kind of haze to kind of get here just a tribute. Definitely good tribute song pitches like that. Pour Out Some Drink, I'd say within those pitches, definitely within appeal. Just real kind of just glum and down in the dumps pitches like that. This definite good song to smoke loud to. Some of those type of to cheer up. Kind of some day pain and grit as far as those pitches can have. So just to miss the tone as far as getting that particular fare. Now for the most part, I would say it's definitely good for Lil Flip to shout out DJ Screw within those pitches, just within the format, because it's just kind of fair, just getting things a lot more headway within those pitches as far as those pairs can have. Definitely excellent type of appeal. 8 Rules is a quality one. It's like a slinky and woozy kind of street outing movements, kind of get within these tones here. I'd say just some goodies run, some of those type pitches within the format, kind of Taco Bell fare, some of those type aspects within it. Just kind of some late shift romps, I'd have to say. It's kind of missed like neighborhood crawls, definitely within the pitch. So, thing with Lil Flip is he kind of switches between. There are some excellent kind of trekkings to kind of get within this album as far as this first going to have him picking up hella goodies, some of those particular type formats, getting the swishers of the varieties of the flavors, pitches like that, some excellent type of appeals to this, neighborhood frequenting pitches like that, just a miss the fair like your homies. This is, I mean, it's not as full-bound designated to being like a social type product, but it's just kind of within the composition that you probably are going to have some pals around within these pitches within the fairs. It just has like a lot of good popular kind of commerce to miss it. There's a number of guests on here. Busy Bone pops up twice. David Banner pops up a couple times. There's some extra folks on here, like Chameleonaire's on here at least once, Juvenile's on here at least once, Skip is on here, some of these type of folks, but yeah, some folks like Young Red, some of these type of folks. It's just within the pitch as far as saying, but 8 Rules just some good neighborhood kind of frequenting pitches like that. Get Crunk's in there, quality one as well. It's like a good, excellent combo with You See It. I'd have to say just some stock 666 kind of Crunk, I'd say within pitch. The Lil Jon, some type folks, Project Pat, obviously within those pitches. Excellent loud pack to kind of get here, and this just a 2000s kind of heater within those type of appeals. So it's the same conduct. Thing within the pitch is Lil Flip is just kind of a lyricist that does Crunk as far as those first can have. Not to say that other folks aren't lyricists, but it's just within the pitch as far as saying it's a good conduct about Lil Flip is he does freestyle his lyrics. So I don't know if he wrote down any of the lyrics out this particular product. It was just within the pitch as far as saying that you get some pretty good, you get some adept enough type lyrics within the pitch as far as these fairs going to have them within the tone as far as getting to like Crunk type modes. It's just kind of the pitch of saying like, now, Lil Flip does not get as carnivorous and crazy as Lil Jon or 36 Mafia within those tones, but it's just kind of the product of just getting like someone who can shred some within those aspects to kind of tear apart some of these Crunk type numbers. So it's just some pitch as far as saying some good type appeals with that. David Banner's on this song, Lil Ron, Young Red, some of those type folks, excellent type pitches. Haters Still Mad is a quality one as well within these aspects. It's like some nice songwriting and extra character to have about this song here. It's like this song's like a woozy kind of spare Tech 9 kind of vibes about these pitches here, and good song to glide to as far as those pitches can happen. So it's just within the pitch as far as saying there are some moments about this album. There are some moments about this album that have some rumination kind of within the sense of like neighborhood type moments within the aspect as far as saying just within the particulars of kind of getting towards like the crawls of just kind of the aspect of what kind of goes along with like post-day kind of dredge within the aspect. Just some of those type of moments that Tech 9 was a pro at doing on like Angelic and Absolute Power, some of those type pitches, and Ever Ready the Religion within some of those type fairs was just kind of the pitch that I feel like Lil Flip has some, I mean the thing about Lil Flip off this album is he does have some good song compositions. There's some moments on here where this is not just a full-bound kind of Crunk and loud pack kind of club album within those pitches. There's some moments like I Should Listen, Make Mama Proud, Forget the Fame, some of these type of ones on here. Haters Still Mad, they're kind of within the pitch of just having like some spare moments or just compositions where it's not just when you're not smoking or when you're not smoking or trying to stack money, some of those type tunes in the pitch, just kind of extra moments that kind of have like some spare kind of just extracurricular kind of motions within some of those type conducts. It's just the aspect of just figuring out. Lil Flip's pretty inventive to have like these concepts. Tupac was pretty good at this. Tech 9's pretty good at this. It just when you have other things to kind of talk about apart from just loud and women and cars and some of those type moments and just things like that, just some extra composition to kind of have for those tones. So it's just kind of a pitch of saying that. It's too bad that Lil Flip's run at the top and his commercial streak was just not lengthier within these pitches, because this is a pretty vibrant type album. 713 is a quality one. It's like a late shift kind of neighborhood trekking to kind of get here, just appreciate like a good swisher amidst like the post hours that I'd say, and this is good for some pounds with your pals, pitches like that, standard daps, and those particular type conducts. This one's a little bit more of a social type one, just to miss the product of it. I do like the tone about this particular fair. It's definitely like songs like 8 Rules and Get Crunk, some of these type moments, and you see it definitely within aspects of just kind of some neighborhood weavings, pitches like that, just frequenting throughout things, going to some further kind of Some dope kind of Taco Bell motions, KFC motions, pitches like that, just to miss that the kind of dusk winds and those type of aspects within the tone as far as what's first going to happen. Forget the fame is a quality one. This is another kind of extracurricular type one with the pitch, excellent type of appeal. It's like some after moments, kind of extra thought to kind of get here. Like I was saying, pitches like that, good type fair, good song right as far as these fairs going to happen. Definitely within the pitch is like a dark kind of hungover, kind of brooding as far as this pitch can happen. Good one to spark up to within the spare moments. This surprisingly isn't as full bound, kind of get tear up. This album is surprisingly not as much full bound get tore up within the pitch behind it. I mean, there's some moments for that on here, but it's kind of within the composition as far as saying it's not as full bound designated where every single song kind of has that conduct. I think kind of within the motions of having like a swisher in your ear or something like that, just within probably like the vibes kind of out and about, but it kind of has the motion and just kind of being it's actually pretty attentive and lively within the pitch behind it. Now, there's definitely some moments for like getting loud with your pals, pitches like that. I'd say more or less within the tone, more socialized type factor within songs like, 8 Rules and 713, some of those type ones, the way we ball, you see it within pitches like that. But Low Flip's just pretty fidgety within the pitch behind. It's not to say fidgety in terms of like it's some sort of derogatory. It's not to say fidgety in terms like something derogatory to the pitch behind, like something to slash the score over anything close to that. It's within the pitch as far as saying it's just kind of concept of just saying it's kind of wired and just kind of a wired type balance within the pitch. So it's kind of amidst the composition of smoking and getting things done amongst us. It's just the fair as far as saying just the aspect of just kind of being with the motion as far as this first kind of have. So excellent type of appeal. Tonight is a real excellent one as well. It's like a feeling elated and grand kind of post-grunge. I'd have to say definitely some lounge bay. There's definitely some lounge bay and flame kind of kickback as far as those first can happen. Just nice romantic kind of pitch within those tones as far as those aspects can happen. Good just after hours kind of Pink Skies pitches like that, and it's good for some rom-com, simple kind of fair popcorn popping. Some of those that pitch within the product of it, just easy kind of wine coolers and pitches like that within those tones. Tonight is an easy kind of primer to hit songs like Sunshine by Lil Flip. It's kind of within the aspect, I would have almost said this might have worked for like a decent kind of single within those aspects. Not as full bound, kind of within the blistering type connect. Yeah, it's definitely like an early bird kind of Sunshine as far as those pitches can have. So definitely within those appeals. We Ain't Scared with Busy Bones, real quality one within these pitches. It's like a snappy and riled kind of evening primer to kind of get here. Just real nice balance about that particular aspect amongst it. Just kind of like some good, very within the same fashion as the way we ball with that southern lick about it. But it's just kind of the tone as far as saying this one just has a little bit more composition, like some good like jump about it. It's like a real excellent feeling, great kind of day pep to kind of get here. Just good smap out as far as those pitches can have. So just to miss the product of this. Just woke up recently, just kind of alive and alert within those pitches, just trying to figure out what's going to happen within the tones as far as just the excitement, like, yeah, I'm going to get some goodies going, figure out the product, chirp a bell, something like that, figure out the tone as far as it's the map out as to how the particular shift of, like, the tides are going to happen within the pitch as far as those first happen. So this excellent type of appeal. We Ain't Scared is a real thrilling type one. I'm glad that Busy Burn dropped a verse on the song because he is on 2 songs. Busy Bone was also on R.I.P. Screw as well, but he helps out more with the chorus of that particular song. Was excellent type pitch to get those fares. What Y'all Want to Do with David Banner and C Notes, a quality one as well. I like the tone of this particular song. It's like a nagast and grim kind of night weaving to kind of get here. Just some crunk mentality mixed in with that particular horror as far as this pitch kind of happens. It's basically just like getting David Banner and Lil Flip on something 3 6 Mafia or Tech 9, some of those type folks related within those pitches. Just like a red hot kind of glaze kind of get here within those aspects as far as those tones kind of happen. So just to miss the tone. Yeah, so this after moments kind of some good socialized within some of those type aspects within it. Goes along with songs like 713, just a little bit more haunting, but just a good type fair to have like some smoke type fashions, pitches like that, just to miss the more horror type mentality. Probably good more for autumn moments, some of those type fairs, but just a real crisp type one within the aspect. It's a fact, it's a quality one as well. It's like an excellent album standout, I'd have to say here. This reminds me of like Tupac and Tech 9's kind of gloom songs type pitch within it. Just some real dark shrillness as far as those fairs. Some real dark shrillness as far as those fairs can happen. Now this particularly has a morose type tone, just really Dracula-esque within the fair behind it. Goes along with What Y'all Want to Do, some of those type pitches. It's real like the aspect behind some of these personable type ones. So just a good type pitch considering that Lil Flip, definite interesting. It's an interesting angle and flip for Lil Flip as far as those fairs can happen, just within the aspects as far as nailing those particular type moments. Definitely would appreciate. It's kind of some good spark type fair to kind of get within those compositions. It is kind of the morose type factor of the other side of the coin. So it's just the pitch as far as covering a lot of bases, just being able to do it within those excellent type of appeals. It's the same sort of aspects of Lil Flip. It's actually very surprising that Lil Flip did not have kind of the same commercial bike. And so, I mean, just the impact of this particular album. This is a pretty banner type album with the pitch. I mean, this is a lot better within the expectancy of what kind of happened with it. I think this album at least went gold or platinum, some of those type pitches, but considering the quality of it, it's actually surprising that his run at the top was just, I mean, he did drop 2 double albums within those pitches, but it's just the fair that his 2007 album just didn't have the singles on like the velocity of his 2004 album. And I think one of the big things that kind of seemed to be the problem with Lil Flip in 2004, he was huge around that time, but he just did not follow up Sunshine. I felt like that was a real capital. Both Game Over and Sunshine were real excellent in their appeals, but that was like the biggest problem from what I remember back in those days, just the fact that he needed like just another hit that could have followed up Sunshine, and that just didn't happen. Then, you know, it took 3 years for him to drop the next album, so it's just a pitch. That was just probably shouldn't have happened that way. It was within the pitch, but this is some excellent type appeals. Just some of these type ones, I get the feeling I'm going to thoroughly like the 2004 album as well. Definitely within those appeals, but it's just kind of aspects as far as saying that I just feel like the composition behind this album is pretty notable within the pitch as far as saying this definitely like a banner kind of 2000s rap album, definitely the excellence of it. Definitely very underrated, I'd have to say. But Make Mama Proud's a quality one as well. It's like a stock dope. Make Mama Proud's like a stock dope kind of personal dredge kind of get here, just a standard workaday kind of grit, and it's like some SFW kind of hustle makeshift as far as what's supposed to happen. So just to miss some more kind of grind type fashion, miss the product of it, but just kind of brings that to like a more workaday type form within the pitch as far as what's going to happen. Kind of a healthier type song, but just within the aspect of like the grime about it. So it's just kind of that particular fair, just cheery but determined as far as this person can happen. It's not something where you sell out and are just kind of a health freak and pitches like that, but it's just kind of the tone as far as saying that this has the composition of just not necessarily full bound being unctuous, but just being tidy about it as far as this person can happen, and just having like some composition within the fair, just not being like, it's not being crass within the conduct of just like not being crass within the full-bound conduct of acting ass and pitches like that, I'd say, but it's just within the tone, so that's good type fair. What I've been through is a quality one as well. It's like a lazy and golden kind of half-stone commerce to kind of get here. This reminds of like a UG, this particular song reminds like a UGK and kind of Tupac mix. Some of those type fairs about it goods. This particular song reminds like a UGK and Tupac mix as far as those fairs can happen. Good song to glide to as far as those fairs can happen. So just within the pitch as far as saying just amidst the commerce like day fair, some of those type products within it, but it's kind of one. Then the concept of like some workaday type vibes is that same sort of aspect, like those lazy days that UGK would kind of crank out on like Riding Dirty and Dirty Money, some of those type pitches within those formats about it, but just kind of the conduct of having like that Tupac kind of introspection about it. So it's just within that context of just getting like a song like Pain by Tupac or like some riding type songs from UGK amongst those times, just amidst the conduct like some Summer Glaze, easy kind of like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock p.m. Orange Skies kind of aspects within the tone behind, but kind of half stone within the pitch. This is one to kind of have some smokes in your system and just get introspective stones type fairs within the pitch, just smoke on the go pitches like that, good type fairs. And then I Should Have Listened, so quality ones, like a nice food for thought to kind of get within the aspects of it, just kind of a hindsight too, which is some good aspects, good commonplace, be an action type topic for more fairs within Allen's pitches like that, just the aspect behind some of those. It's another one that gives some Tupac vibes about it within these pitches, and it's like a good switch up in terms of the songwriting pitches like that. So these are some moments within the aspect of kind of having some just different varieties as far as those tones going to happen. Kind of another gloomy type one within the pitch, but it's a good, nice one to listen to just within the fairs that just trying to get straightened as far as those fairs going to happen, just amidst the product of kind of having a song composition, but it's just not preachy within those fairs. I like the particular one about this because normally when they just tell you get your shit together, have some of these type of moments, just get up on your grind, get out there and get it, and no looking back, get it by any means. Some of those particular type contexts, it's not so much the get it by any means one that's as much of a deal, but just that normal kind of just that normal kind of intractable kind of just that normal kind of intractable kind of persevere just can get tiresome within certain senses. This is just a good, nice one within those contexts as far as thinking of things in hindsight, just paying attention to some of those stuff first. It has a good product about it, good hustle type song to kind of get you back on your feet and just straighten as far as this pitch kind of. So just within a tone about that. Trying to think if there's other songs I haven't talked about on here. I think that about covers it within the pitch behind it. The thing I talked about, I Can Do That remix as well. So that was the almost song, just a little bit kind of scratchy within those tones. But I look after here, so 10 out of 10 score. Social score I'll go ahead and give maybe like a 9.75. I feel like the pitch behind this is some classic type of appeal, definitely within the appeal. I think Lil Flip has enough conduct and like, I feel like Lil Flip has enough conduct and commotion about him where people probably do recognize, but I think for the most part, it just seems like more of this album is going to be the beeline of this album is just basically The Way We Ball. That's pretty much one that folks would chunk up the deuce and say, yeah, I'd go back with this song, but minus that, I had to say, this album does have more moments, just kind of the composition of whether or not the learning curve is going to be adaptable towards it. There are some crunk moments on here if you look hard enough. Some Crunk moments on here, pitches like that, some good makeshift and Tupac and Tech 9 type moments within the pitch like that, glaze type fashion, just some ride outs and some of the stuff within the pitch. But this kind of composition in terms of like immediate type ones, I will admit that this album probably could have used another banger on like the size, the way we ball it. I mean, this is a good album, but it may be like minorly kind of light on like the full blown kind of commercial bite about it. That's kind of why I felt like it was a good type motion, but this was the same thing that happened with Lil Flip's 2004 album. It just seems like he kind of sells himself shy as single with some of his project. He did it with this album, he did it with this 2004 album, and just curbed him a little bit sooner than what probably should have happened. But he has put out plenty of projects. We're going to get to some of these within those fairs, but this is kind of the pitch. I would say 9.75 social. Has the moments on here, some fun type aspects, some summer glaze, some smoke type songs within the commerce of it. It doesn't full bound like display viciously the concept of smoke type fair, but it's just the product of just initiating it with like the standard workaday and hustle. Just makeshift kind of formats. Missed the pitch behind it. Some extra type moments for like some rumination, some of those type fairs within the conduct, like some SFW type fare and a more composed type sense pitches like that. So it has the composition about it. It's pretty productive and varietized and has some healthy songwriting as well within those pitches. So good type fare. So in terms of the future, like Lil Flip, has put out a good assortment of these products. We're definitely going to get to some more of these. I am going to get to that 2004 double album. You Gotta Feel Me, some of those type pitches. We'll get to some more of these type contexts within the pitch. This is a classic here within the aspect behind, a little bit light on like the commercial body, but other than that, it's just a blistering type classic, easy kind of 10 out of 10.